So Mayhem started this week, and the first thing I wanted to try was Antaeus Wards. Now, we did a video right after Forsaken launched. We essentially showcased like everything Antaeus Wards can block. But this week in Mayhem, we got to actually see the practicality behind Antaeus and whether or not these are some exotics you should be using over some of our other top tier exotics here on the Titan class. Now, let's go over what's happening here with this perk on Antaeus Wards. First up, Reflective Vents. You gain improved sliding, supposedly. I really don't think you get better sliding. Like, I'm still trying to figure that one out. But sliding reflects incoming projectiles. Reflecting projectiles grants super energy. All of this sounds great. Getting super energy sounds great. The main function of this, can I survive against Blade Barrage with Antaeus Wards? Why, yes, you can. It most definitely can reflect something like Blade Barrage. Matter of fact, it can reflect pretty much anything that isn't like a melee-based super. Like, if you got a slam coming down on you, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna die. I have not been able to reflect that. A Nova Warp, haven't been able to reflect that either. But considering how many Blade Barrages are in something like Mayhem, especially people run around with Shards of Galanor, Antaeus Wards was very useful. But what is the success rate? Like, you're seeing all the clips where I successfully reflected their supers. But what about the times that I failed? If I was to give you a number, out of every 10 supers that I slid into to reflect, I probably only reflected maybe 2 of them. Like, that's a really low percentage. Now, immediately, you're probably already writing it off and saying, no, obviously these exotics aren't what we should be using. We'll just keep rocking something like One-Eye Mask. But those 2 times that it did actually reflect a super could mean all the difference in, say, something like a comp game, or better yet, in something like Trials, if we happen to get Trials back. You know how it is. If you catch that one guy that's coming in there to wipe your team with a Blade Barrage, and you throw that super back into him and his teammates, and you win the round, you pretty much might as well won the game, because you just starved the entire team from getting any orbs, and you just probably kept him from taking advantage of Shards of Galanor, because you killed him with his own super. So, those 2 times that it actually worked, yes, it was amazing. Now, for the 8 times that it failed, I can't say that it was Antaeus Wards. I think it was just all my timing. That's the thing. Your timing has to be so perfect. And really, it depends on the super. Like, if it's a golden gun, I have to be immediately sliding. If it's something like a Blade Barrage, I initially had some trouble with Blade Barrage, because if the initial volley did not kill me, the second volley of blades would, which actually resulted in me discovering some different mechanics here. When you're going into your slide, if you shoulder charge out of your slide, Reflective Vents is still activated. But the beauty of this is the second volley will most likely miss you. Like, if you just slide in a Blade Barrage, 9 times out of 10, if you do reflect the super back, you'll still die. But if you slide shoulder charge, you'll still reflect the super, but you just shoulder charge out of their second volley. And even if you go past the enemy, there was times that I slid and shoulder charge behind the enemy, I still reflected the super. Now, obviously, that strategy doesn't work with everything, which takes me to my point, guys. Antaeus Wards has a learning curve to it. On top of that, it changes up from super to super, which kind of requires you to do your homework. You got to actually see what the enemy is using. If it's a golden gun, you're going to be immediately sliding. If it's a Nova Bomb, you're going to be baiting. And if it's a Blade Barrage, you're going to do that slide shoulder charge technique that I just showed you. There's like different methods for dealing with different supers, and they all rely on your timing to be perfect. Now, I've seen a lot of people compare Peregrine Greaves, which was a D1 exotic on the Titan class, to Antaeus Wards. Now, Greaves essentially allowed you to shoulder charge supers out of their super. You essentially were able to kill them due to the bonus in-air damage that you got when you shoulder charge. Now, its main practical use was just for that, right? Just for taking down supers. Antaeus Wards can do the same thing, although I would say much harder to actually do reliably, but it also has another practical use. Guys, I cannot tell you how many shotgun fights I have won with Antaeus Wards, simply because I got a guy on one end who slides into me and I slide to him, and Reflective Vents will tank that shotgun shot. Matter of fact, it'll even kill them. I've had people kill themselves with their own shotguns because of it reflecting the shotgun shot. So yeah, Antaeus can reflect supers. It has that ability, and I very much like that ability. But it's not purely designed just to deal with supers. It can save your life in a lot of situations, whether it's a guy ready on the other end of the map with a sniper, and you slide at the right time and tank the shot. Or somebody procs Magnificent How and they're getting ready to do the finishing final blow and you slide and tank that shot. Obviously, the learning curve is there, and that's the thing about this exotic. As much time as you will invest into it, you'll be able to reap all of the benefits and rewards that this exotic can give you. It's not just going to open up and just give you everything and make you just this walking tank inside of Crucible, and you're just bouncing supers and shotgun shots and sniper bullets off yourself. It will definitely require you to play differently and to always be conscious of what's going on around you, especially knowing what your enemies are rocking and what supers they are using. And sometimes as a Titan, we don't want to think that much. I get it. I just want to ape. So yeah, this exotic somewhat conflicts with the Titan mentality, but boy is it nasty. Well, fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching, and as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.